What are you looking at right now? Is it just a meal, a quick takeaway to home at weekend? Or is it something more? It's a symbol of celebration, of comfort, of sharing. It's a food so universal you can find it in nearly every country on Earth. But what if I told you that the most important ingredient on this pizza was once considered poisonous by European aristocrats? That the dish itself wasn't invented in a charming Tuscan villa, but in the crowded, dirty streets of one of Europe's poorest cities? And that its journey to your plate involves ancient soldiers, a clever queen, millions of immigrants, and a world war? This is the story of a food that wasn't just invented, but evolved. A food that tells the story of human history itself. This is the surprising, mysterious, and utterly delicious history of pizza. Welcome to Origin Stories. To find the first slice of our story, we have to travel back, way back, long before Italy was Italy, and long before tomatoes even reached Europe. The true ancestor of pizza, it's flatbread. Can you imagine a world without plates? For thousands of years, bread was not just the meal, it was the utensil and the plate itself. Ancient Egyptians baked flatbreads seasoned with herbs. In the Persian Empire, the soldiers of Darius the Great would bake thin breads on their battle shields, topping them with cheese and dates. It was the original MRE, a meal ready to eat, convenient and portable. But it's in ancient Greece that we find something that starts to look familiar. They had a flatbread called plakus, which was baked with toppings like herbs, onion, cheese, and garlic. Even the great Roman poet Virgil, in his epic poem The Aeneid, describes a scene where the hero and his crew, after landing in Latium, lay out thin wheat cakes and top them with mushrooms and herbs from the woods. His young son jokes that they are so hungry, they are devouring their tables. This idea, a flat, baked dough used as a base for other ingredients, wasn't unique to one culture. It was a universal solution to a basic human need. But for this ancient flatbread to become the pizza we know and love, it needed a specific time, a specific place, and a revolutionary new ingredient that nobody trusted. Welcome to Naples in the 1700s. It's not the romantic Italian city you might imagine. It was one of the largest cities in Europe, but it was also famously overcrowded and impoverished. A constant stream of peasants from the countryside poured into the city, searching for work that was rarely there. These working poor were known as the Lazzaroni. They lived packed into tiny homes, sometimes with dozens of people to a room, and spent most of their lives outdoors. And what did these Lazzaroni need? Food that was cheap, filling, and could be eaten quickly, on the go. And so the street vendors of Naples provided. They sold a simple flatbread smeared with lard or topped with garlic, salt, and basil. Sometimes a little cheese, caciocavallo, was grated on top. This was the first true pizza. But it was a food of desperation. It was viewed with contempt by the upper classes, a greasy, simple meal for the lowest of the low. But then something arrived in Naples that would change everything. A strange red fruit from the New World, the tomato. It arrived in Europe in the 16th century, brought back from the Americas by the Spanish. And for almost 200 years, most Europeans were terrified of it. Why? Well, botanists recognized it as a member of the nightshade family, which includes deadly plants like belladonna. Its vibrant red color was seen as a warning. The wealthy had another reason to be scared. They ate off pewter plates, which had a high lead content. The acidity of the tomatoes would leach lead from the plate, leading to lead poisoning. So, for the aristocracy, tomatoes were literally poisonous. They called them poison apples and grew them only as decorative plants in their gardens. But the poor and hungry Lazzaroni of Naples, they didn't eat off expensive pewter plates. And when you're desperate, you're willing to take risks. Sometime in the late 18th or early 19th century, some brave, unknown Neapolitan decided to put this poison apple on their flatbread. And it was a revelation. The sweetness and acidity of the cooked tomato perfectly cut through the richness of the bread and cheese. It added moisture, flavor, and vibrant color. The tomato, shunned by the rich, had found its true home on the food of the poor. Pizza with tomato sauce quickly became the standard in the streets of Naples. It was still a local secret, a dish almost entirely unknown to the rest of Italy and the world.
For pizza to go from the back streets to the global stage, it would need a royal endorsement.
The year is 1889. Italy is a newly unified nation, but the North and South are still deeply divided culturally and economically. The new king, Umberto I, and his wife, Queen Margherita of Savoy, decide to visit Naples. It's a political move, an attempt to win the hearts and minds of their southern subjects. As the story goes, after days of elaborate and rich French cuisine served at the royal palace, the queen grew bored. She wanted to try something local, something authentic. She summoned the most famous pizzaiolo, or pizza maker in Naples, a man named Raffaele Esposito, from the pizzeria now known as Pizzeria Brandi. Now, can you imagine the pressure? The most famous pizza maker cooking for the Queen of Italy, a dish that most of the upper class looked down upon. Esposito and his wife prepared 3 different pizzas for the royal couple. One with lard, cheese, and basil, another with small fish. But the third was a stroke of patriotic genius. It was topped with vibrant red tomatoes, creamy white mozzarella cheese, and fresh green basil. What did those colors represent? The red, white, and green of the new Italian flag. The Queen was delighted. This was her favorite. Esposito, in a brilliant marketing move, named this creation in her honor, Pizza Margherita. This moment was a turning point. A dish born from poverty was now fit for a queen. It gave pizza a royal seal of approval, transforming it from a regional street food into a national treasure. But here's a little surprising fact for you. While the story of Queen Margherita is legendary, historians have found evidence of a pizza with tomato, mozzarella, and basil described in Naples as early as 1866, more than 2 decades earlier. So, did Raffaele Esposito truly invent the margherita? Or was he just a savvy marketer who presented an existing local combination to the Queen and gave it a brilliant name? Either way, the legend worked. Pizza was now a symbol of Italian pride. But its journey was far from over. Its next stop, a new world across the ocean. Between 1880 and 1920, over 4 million Italians immigrated to the United States, fleeing poverty in southern Italy. They brought with them their language, their customs, and, of course, their food. In the packed tenements of New York, Boston, and other East Coast cities, they recreated the flavors of home. And one of those flavors was pizza. In 1905, an Italian immigrant named Gennaro Lombardi opened what is widely believed to be America's first licensed pizzeria in Little Italy, New York. But for decades, pizza remained a niche ethnic food. If you weren't an Italian American, you probably had never heard of it, let alone tasted it. So what launched pizza from the streets of Little Italy into every town and suburb in America? Two things: a war and a new way of life. During World War II, thousands of American GIs were stationed in Italy. They were a long way from home, and they discovered the local cuisine. In Naples and other southern Italian towns, they encountered pizza. For these soldiers, it was a delicious, hearty, and affordable meal. They fell in love with it. When the war ended and they returned home, they brought a craving for pizza with them. Suddenly, there was a nationwide demand for this once obscure dish. Entrepreneurs, many of them veterans, saw an opportunity and started opening pizzerias across the country. The post-war economic boom and the rise of the suburbs created the perfect environment for pizza to thrive. Families had more disposable income and were looking for convenient new dining options. Pizza was perfect. It was casual, affordable, and great for sharing. And as it spread, it began to change. This is where pizza became truly Americanized. The thin, delicate Neapolitan crust often became thicker and chewier. Toppings became more abundant and varied. A new cured sausage, developed in the United States by Italian Americans, became the quintessential topping: pepperoni. The invention of refrigerated trucks and commercial pizza ovens made it easier to produce and distribute on a mass scale. And in 1958, two brothers in Wichita, Kansas, opened a small restaurant that would change the world. Its name? Pizza Hut. The era of the pizza chain had begun.
From America, pizza didn't just go back to Italy. It went everywhere. American pizza chains became ambassadors of this new global food. But something fascinating happened as it spread. Pizza didn't just conquer other cultures, it was adopted and adapted by them. Have you ever wondered why pizza is so successful globally? It's because it's a blank canvas. The basic formula of bread, sauce, and cheese is endlessly adaptable. In India, you'll find toppings like tandoori chicken and paneer cheese. In Japan, squid ink sauce, teriyaki chicken, and mayonnaise are popular. In Brazil, they love to top their pizzas with green peas. And in Sweden, the frutti di mare pizza often includes bananas and curry powder. Yes, you heard that right, banana curry pizza. Each culture remakes pizza in its own image, using its favorite local flavors. It's a perfect example of what anthropologists call glocalization, a global product adapted for a local taste. It proves that pizza is no longer just Italian or American. It belongs to everyone. So, the next time you pick up a slice of pizza, take a moment to think about the incredible journey it took to your plate. Remember the ancient soldiers baking bread on their shields. Remember the poor lazzaroni of Naples, so desperate they were willing to eat a poisonous fruit. Think of Queen Margherita and the patriotic pie that changed a food's reputation forever. Think of the millions of Italian immigrants who carried their culture across an ocean, and the American soldiers who brought a craving home from war. Pizza is more than just food. It's a story of survival, of migration, of innovation, and of connection. It's proof that sometimes the simplest ideas, born from the humblest of beginnings, can go on to conquer the world and bring us all just a little bit closer together, one slice at a time. The story of pizza is still being written, with every new topping and every new pizzeria that opens in a corner of the world. Which makes me wonder, what's the most interesting or delicious pizza you've ever had?
And what country were you in when you ate it? Share your story in the comments below. We'd love to read about your pizza adventures. And if you enjoyed uncovering this amazing origin story, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Origin Stories for more histories behind the things we know and love. Thanks for watching.